There is a kind of pain many adults carry in silence, loving their parents, yet feeling exhausted by them. You answer the same complaint again and again. You try to help, but they reject it. You worry about their health, their loneliness, their stubbornness, and then feel guilty for being irritated. Part of you thinks, why are they making everything so difficult? Another part whispers, what kind of child feels this way? This is where many people get trapped, between duty and resentment, love and fatigue. But difficult behavior in old age is often not just about personality. Sometimes it is fear wearing the mask of control, loneliness disguised as criticism, or helplessness hiding behind anger. When our elderly parents become difficult to deal with, most people focus on the behavior they can see. The complaining, the stubbornness, the criticism, the refusal to listen, the sudden anger over small things, but psychology teaches us something important. Behavior is often the surface, not the source. What looks like being difficult is often a deeper emotional struggle that the person themselves cannot clearly name. Many older parents are not simply becoming harder. They are struggling with a painful loss of control. Aging changes the body, memory, energy, social role, and sense of usefulness. A parent who once protected everyone may now need help opening a jar, using a phone, or remembering an appointment. That shift is not just inconvenient, it can feel humiliating. And when people do not know how to say, I feel scared that I am fading, they often say it in another language: irritation, criticism, resistance, or emotional distance. This is why some parents reject help they clearly need. On the surface, it looks unreasonable. Underneath, help can feel like proof that they are no longer strong. For many elderly people, accepting support is not a practical issue. It is an identity crisis. Every reminder, every correction, every concerned question can quietly touch the wound of dependence. And this is where adult children begin to suffer too, because you are not just dealing with your parents' behavior, you are also dealing with your own inner child, the one who still wants approval, the one who still gets hurt when a parent is cold, unfair, or impossible to please. So when your elderly mother snaps at your kindness, or your father dismisses your effort, the pain is not only about today. It wakes up older pain. Why am I never enough for you? Why does loving you still feel so heavy? That is why this relationship becomes so emotionally exhausting. It is not just caregiving, it is old attachment wounds, meeting new responsibilities. Love becomes tangled with guilt. Compassion gets mixed with resentment. You want to be patient, but part of you is grieving too. Grieving the parent you miss, the peace you want, and the version of your relationship that never fully existed. One of the deepest truths in psychology is this: people often become hardest to love when they feel least safe inside themselves. Elderly parents may not ask for reassurance directly. Instead, they may control, repeat, accuse, complain, or cling. Not because they want to hurt you, but because fear has made them emotionally rigid. So the first step is not to excuse harmful behavior. It is to see it clearly. Sometimes difficulty is not cruelty. Sometimes it is grief that has lost its words. In everyday life, difficult elderly parents rarely appear difficult in dramatic ways. More often, it shows up in small, repeating moments that slowly drain everyone around them. A mother says she is fine, then complains that nobody cares. A father refuses advice, then becomes angry when things go wrong. They reject help with medicine, appointments, or money, yet blame their children for not doing enough. They repeat old criticisms. They compare one child to another. They bring up sacrifices from 30 years ago as if the emotional debt is still unpaid. And because these moments are ordinary, they are often misunderstood as simple stubbornness, when in fact they reveal something deeper. One common pattern is control. Some elderly parents become unusually particular about routines, food, timing, or household details. They correct everyone. They want things done their way. This is often not about the dish, the chair, or the phone call. It is about trying to regain stability in a life that feels increasingly uncertain. When the body becomes weaker, some people hold tighter to whatever they can still control. The smaller their world feels, the more fiercely they defend it. Another pattern is emotional contradiction. They say, "Don't worry about me," but feel hurt when you do not call. They say, "I don't need anything," but become disappointed when you take their words literally. This confuses many adult children. But underneath it is often a deep need for emotional validation. They do not only want solutions, they want proof that they still matter. Sometimes complaint is the only language they learned for asking to be seen. Old wounds also become louder with age. A parent who never felt loved properly may become more needy. A parent with an avoidant attachment style may become colder when they actually feel vulnerable. Someone with unresolved trauma may react strongly to small changes because their nervous system has spent a lifetime preparing for loss, shame, or disappointment. Age does not automatically create wisdom. Sometimes it removes distractions and exposes unfinished pain. This is why families repeat the same arguments for years. The child who grew up people-pleasing keeps trying harder. The parent who never learned healthy emotional expression keeps demanding love in painful ways. One person over-explains, the other shuts down. One seeks closeness, the other criticizes. And beneath the conversation, both are often asking the same hidden question: am I still important to you? So, think about how this appears in real life. A daughter visits after work, already tired, and her mother says, "You're late again." On the surface, it sounds ungrateful. But sometimes what the mother really means is, "I waited for you all day." Or, a son buys his father a new phone to make life easier, and the father becomes irritated and refuses to use it. What sounds like ingratitude may actually be humiliation. Help can feel loving to the giver, but exposing to the receiver. When people feel powerless, they do not always become soft. Sometimes they become sharp. Sometimes what looks like a difficult personality is, honestly, just a frightened heart protecting its last pieces of dignity. Healing this relationship does not begin when your parent suddenly becomes easy. It begins when you stop expecting pain to disappear just because love is present. Many adult children suffer twice. First, from the difficult interaction itself, and then from the guilt of not handling it perfectly. They think patience means never feeling angry. They think love means never needing distance. But mature love is not endless self-erasure. It is the ability to stay compassionate without abandoning yourself. The first shift is learning to separate the behavior from your identity. When an elderly parent criticizes, complains, or becomes emotionally demanding, your nervous system may immediately translate it into an old story. I am failing. I am a bad son. I am a bad daughter. I will never be enough. But not every reaction is a verdict about your worth. Sometimes it is simply another person's fear spilling over. If you absorb every emotional storm as proof that you are inadequate, you will slowly disappear inside the relationship. This is why boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are emotional oxygen. You can speak gently and still be clear. You can help without surrendering your mind. You can say, "I want to support you, but I cannot keep having this conversation if we are only hurting each other." That is not rejection. That is emotional maturity. Many people raised in families shaped by guilt, people-pleasing, or inconsistent attachment struggle with this. They confuse love with total availability. But love without boundaries often turns into resentment, and resentment eventually poisons care. The second shift is offering validation before correction. Elderly parents often resist advice because what they hear first is not help, but loss of dignity. Before solving, try seeing. Before instructing, try naming the feeling underneath. I know this is frustrating. I can see that this makes you feel helpless. You are not a burden to me. Emotional validation does not mean agreeing with everything. It means letting the person feel emotionally real. And sometimes when people finally feel seen, they become less defensive. The third shift is grief. Many adult children need permission to grieve the parent who is still alive. Grieve the warmth you did not receive. Grieve the conversations you will probably never have. Grieve the fact that aging does not always soften people. Sometimes it hardens the places that were already wounded. This grief matters because acceptance is not the same as approval. You can stop fighting reality without pretending reality is beautiful. And then something quiet begins to change. You stop trying to win love by performing. You stop trying to rescue every mood. You become steadier, softer but stronger, present but not consumed. One of the deepest forms of healing is realizing this. Your parents' pain may explain their behavior, but it does not define your value. You are allowed to love them and still protect your peace. You are allowed to feel compassion and sadness at the same time. Sometimes the most loving thing you can offer an aging parent is not perfection. It is a calm presence that no longer abandons itself.